Good morning. I will be presenting on my Viva, and thank you to my supervisor, Dr. Vincent. I will be running through briefly some highlights from chapter 1 to 3 before going in details on my chapter 4, 5, and 6. So this will be the flow of the entire presentation. I will be starting with research questions, research framework, what will the statistical analysis method be used, and again chapter 4 here is all about the results, and then and chapter 5 will be on discussions, what is the conclusion, and again I will also address the post-study research limitation, as well as chapter 6 where actually it highlights the practical recommendations, theoretical implication, as well as some reflection from researcher. So the research questions and hypotheses. In this research, there will be four independent variables: online communities, brand experience, privacy, and safety of delivery. So all these IBs, researchers would like to see whether or not they actually influence the customer loyalty among the undergraduates in Selangor, all right, in Selangor, for fashion jewelry e-business. And these are the IVs that we'll be looking at, and the dependent variable here will be customer loyalty. So researcher will be using Smart PRS software, and this software actually will be more towards PRS SAM. There will be reliability test, effect size, path coefficient, and p-value that will be used as an indicator to measure the IVs and also the DV. So I would like to share about the survey responses. So researcher has completed, in fact, collected complete responses from 383 respondents. So out of this 383, 96% of them are actually from the gender of female. And out of the range of age, I would say that 81% of them are actually within the age of 21 to 23 years old. And all of them are using fashion jewelries. And when it comes to frequency of purchasing fashion jewelries, 35% of them mentioned that they will buy more than once a month, and some of them they buy, not some of them, but half of the population, all right, 50% of them actually will buy once a month, and the remaining 15% will actually buy once in 3 months time, quarterly. And researcher has done reliability tests, and all of them has passed, or the IV has passed the reliability test. Online communities, privacy, and safety delivery, they show strong reliability, whereas brand experience, it actually does show pretty acceptable, I would say, reliability result. So it's good. And here we are talking about inner model evaluation. So for R square, it is all about how much DV is being can be explained from all the IVs. So here we could comfortably say that 70% of the customer loyalty is being explained from all the four IVs, which is good. And when it comes to effect size, we can see that online community has the biggest effect size as compared to the rest. Of course, number 2 is actually privacy. And even though safety of delivery is having the smallest effect size, but don't worry, it's proven as well when it comes to p-value that it has passed the significant test. So it's statistically significant, so it's good. And when it comes to path coefficient, we can see that each of them actually carry, are able to explain or in fact influence customer loyalty. So it's all good. And this is the result summary. So we can say that reliability test is all passed in a model evaluation, all passed, and therefore all the hypotheses are supported. In other words, yes, indeed, online communities and experience privacy and safety of delivery, they have impact on customer loyalty among young undergraduates. So it's very important. And this will be the detailed discussion. In fact, all the supporting evidence are I would say are supported based on the current finding. We're going one by one. Online communities, yes, it has the greatest contributing factor, medium to large effect size, and indeed, higher engagement promotes stronger loyalty, uh, and it can eventually contributes to more returning uh, purchases or positive word of mouth. And again, the active engagement fostering trust is something that is consistent with the social capital theory. And now we move on to brand experience. Yes, brand experience is still considered a significant factor towards driving customer loyalty. Positive brand experience, yes, it does link towards transformation as well as emotional attachment over the time. And in this case, in this research, we can see that fashion jewelries are indeed, uh, especially those that fit into personality and lifestyle, are indeed highly preferred by young undergraduates. When it comes to the third IV, privacy, here we can see that young undergraduates, in fact, they are more willing to interact with the brand that has websites that shows secure indicator. In other words, great concern among them, especially towards privacy matters such as data protection and website security. So this is one of the key findings under this IV. And when we move on to data, when we move on to now we will move on to the last IV, which is safety or delivery. Yes, over here respondent has shown that they value timely, correct, and reliable delivery. And even though this IV show the smallest effect size among the rest, but it's still statistically significant. All right, and delivery reliability and timeliness does foster confidence and trust uh, towards the fashion jewelry business, or we call brand. In conclusion, I would say that all the proposed hypotheses are fully supported, and online communities are the most influential factor. And here we would like to highlight the importance of user-generated content. Young undergraduate, they do value, indeed, they highly valued personalized service via virtual touchpoint. And again, they like authenticity, authenticity, and also they like consistency here. So this is something very important for the e-business to take note. And the lack of website security or privacy disclaimer does lead to low engagement and loyalty, another finding. And of course, timely delivery and reliability of the logistic company does uh, influence the trust towards the fashion jewelry e-business, and potentially, and not to say potentially, but ultimately impact on the customer loyalty. So in all, in conclusion, customer loyalty in fashion jewelry e-business can be boosted through the combination or the combined effort of social engagement that can be found in online communities, emotional connection, brand experience, and trust mechanism, which is privacy and delivery reliability. Research limitation post-study, I would say that first limitation is a gender distribution, because here majority are female. So for the future studies, it's best to aim at a bigger demographic distribution. For the second limitation, it will be the measurement of DV. So here, limited opportunity to include other dimensions of customer loyalty, such as psychology or emotional aspect, which future studies will need to aim at qualitative, because in this survey we are using the method of quantitative. So in the future, uh, we'll need to do qualitative study for better understanding of this dimension. Sorry, my apology, there is an error. It's actually qualitative method, not quantitative. Sorry. And the third limitation will be limited scope in theoretical framework. So here, I would say for future studies, it's best to expand the scope of the framework of the underpinning theory to include other contemporary factors, for example, digital environment. Practical recommendation that will be made, in fact made by a researcher, would be first the need of increased engagement in online communities for all the e-business, fashion, jewelry e-business, because we can see that the young customers these days, they like to they're very much fond with the phone of the they like user engaged, user generated content, and information sharing is something very common to them, and they value it very much. And secondly, it is also important to focus on personalized brand experience. By doing so, e-business will need to look at data-driven customization according based on the individual shopping patterns or consumption. And third recommendation that will be made will be the improved privacy mechanism. So trying to be more transparent about the disclaimer of privacy protection and so forth. Logistic fulfillment, please do collaborate with a reputable logistic vendor so that they can actually have a better customer service as well as real-time tracking. Theoretical recommendation, underpinning theory. The scope of the underpinning theory will need to be expanded, like what I mentioned earlier on, to include other contemporary factors such as digital e-commerce or digital environment. These are something new. And deeper study on the brand experience is needed as well, so that we can understand how it actually different dimension of such can actually contribute to the formation of customer loyalty. Deeper understanding on the privacy concern is needed, so that the researcher in fact can actually we can understand where is the balancing point in fact between personalization and also privacy protection. Technology advancement delivery is something that can be explored in the future. Why? Because, for example, drone delivery. So, how could this delivery method, impact on customer loyalty formation? So, this is something new. And conclusion, researchers' reflection here. There are three challenges. First will be ensuring sample demographic being well balanced. So this is one of the challenges faced. Measuring dependent variable customer loyalty. So in this case, uh, because we are doing quantitative, so in the future, other researcher can actually focus on qualitative method, so that they can use interviews to better understand the customer loyalty different dimension. And of course, another challenge will be the potential theory expansion, because we need to include contemporary factors. Lesson learned, uh, to fit in contemporary factors, we will need to expand the theoretical framework. And so what's now that I can do differently? Future studies will need to actually balance off the sample demographic. What next? Again, is advised, future studies is advised to actually incorporate a qualitative method to better understand the various dimension of the DV. And if there's any question, please feel free to contact me, and this will be my reference.